Welcome to the VET S.O.S Veteran Entrepreneurial Spotlight. Remember, don't drown the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S Lifeline. The Veteran Entrepreneurial Spotlight is proud to be affiliated with Neil Haley's show and sponsored by SpearPoint Solutions. SpearPoint Solutions is a one-stop shop for leading-edge products, services, and training from multiple vendors. From AI training to corporate gifts and much more, they have everything you need to help your organization thrive in the modern economy. You can find out more about all the offerings at spearpointonline.com, and don't forget to use the code VETSOS so you continue to support our mission and everything we're doing here. Today, we're sitting down with Brittney Howard, an Air Force veteran who's the owner-founder behind Dawg Boss, where she helps dog owners turn their wild, reactive pups into chill, well-behaved besties. She's all around making training fit into your everyday life, what she calls lazy training, so you get results without feeling like dog training is your full-time job. Oh, you're speaking right to my heart on this. When she's not working with dogs, Brittney's hosting her podcast, Love is Weird, talking all things relationships, sex, and the messy stuff in between. She keeps it real, honest, and always a little funny. How are you doing today, Brittney?
I'm good, Sean. The sun is finally peeking through today. We've had the weirdest weather in Virginia. It's been very Midwesty. We had crazy rain, and then we had snow. We had water pipes go down. We had everything frozen. So the sun is finally out. So we're like, oh my gosh, the sun is here. Summer might be around the corner.
See, you just jinxed it. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I take it all back. I'll take it back.
That damn groundhog. Okay, so I can't wait to get into the Dawg Boss discussion, because I have a German Shepherd who needs its own emotional support dog. And
that's a very Shepherd thing to do.
Freaks out anytime her older sister leaves the room. It is absolutely ridiculous. But before we do that, let's talk about transition. How did your military transition go?
I would say it went very well for me, because I was married at the time. I'm not anymore, despite this. This is a sleep tracker, but I was I was married at the time. And so when you have, I don't know if you're married, Sean, but when you have the support of a spouse, when you get out, you're kind of like, oh, I can kick back, and there's no stress. And so I really feel for the vets that get out and they're not married, and maybe they don't have family near, and so it's so different when you get out by yourself. So I was lucky enough to have the support of a spouse to help me get out, so that, or to help support me when I got out. And so I would say that transition went smoothly, but it was still stressful, because you feel like you are in the Air Force, we call it a SME, but if you're in the Army, it tells me that's wrong. It's the subject matter expert. But
we do the same thing in the Army. Don't listen to them.
when you're in the military, you feel like the SME of your skill set. And then when you get out, you're like, wait, nobody gives a shit about my skill set. And so that was stressful for me getting out.
This is true. I mean, there are certain things that a lot of us as veterans bring to the table that's universal, but you get into the specific job skills and things like that, or maybe some additional training you had, it may or may not apply to your new job. And the employer may not really care. I can't disagree with that. All right. So what led you to this entrepreneurial journey? What made you want to be an entrepreneur?
So I kind of have always been an entrepreneur. When I was a kid, I would play store, and I would set up the cabinets to look like this, so I could pretend I was working at a drive-through. It's always been in my blood, set up a lemonade stand, do all that, wash cars for money. So it's always been in my DNA to want to do this. When I started my company originally in 2015, when my spouse at the time deployed, and we were so obsessed with each other that we didn't hang out with anybody else. So when he left, I was like, oh shit, I don't have any friends. I don't know what to do. So I was like, let me see if somebody will pay me to train their dog, and then I'll just use it for Starbucks or my internet bill or whatever. So it started as a tiny idea to just stay busy while he was deployed. And then I slowly realized oh my God, people, this is a need. There's a hole in the market, and I can help fill it. This is crazy.
Outstanding. So what's been the best and the worst part about being an entrepreneur?
Probably what all entrepreneurs say is just the freedom to run your own business, but then the ball and chain attached to you, running your own business. That I would say that is the hard part, because you can hit burnout like really, really quickly if you're not paying attention to like days off, and I need hobbies besides my business. And, you know, if the business succeeds, it's my fault. If the business fails, it's my fault. And so that has been really easy for me because military teaches you, like, if something happens, it's your fault. Like, you didn't educate the people below you correctly. And so I really took that to heart. And that's part of what's led me to be so successful is I'm really, really good at accountability and saying like, okay, I fucked this up, or okay, this is going great because like I stepped out of the box and I decided to do this thing. I would say something that's really hard for me has been, oh man, it's really hard to hire people. Like, it's really, really hard to hire people. So that has been a struggle because dog training is so like niche and it's so unregulated that anybody can be a dog trainer. Like, you don't need a degree, you don't need to go to school, you don't need like Sean, you could be like, oh, Sean Welsh Canine, sign up today. And then nothing's stopping you. You just need insurance to train it, but nobody's stopping you. So hiring people has been a chore because this is my baby. I'm very, very picky, and nobody's going to be attached to my brand name or me that is like a shitbag. It's not going to happen. So I'm very, very picky. So it's taken me a long time to find the right team to work with me to carry my success over, because I don't want to have to work every single day. That's the point of having staff, is to delegate. Well, not work every day.
You bring up a great point though, in protecting the brand.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things that you don't really think about. And the next thing you know, you have, you know, this brand that has grown its own legs, and people expect certain things from the brand, and they expect, you know, things done a certain way. And next thing you know, you're that's coming into decision making, and it's very weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can appreciate that. You know, trying to find those people that fit, you know, your brand, for one, can do the job for two,
right,
and that fit, you know, whatever culture you're trying to build, you know, and that can be hard.
Yeah, but we're doing it. We're steadily creeping up there and doing it, and
great.
We'll see what happens.
That's outstanding. So have you participated in any entrepreneurial programs to help you grow or start the business?
No, I probably should have. I started the company with only my dollars to start. The cool thing is that dog training is very low overhead. You need the skill set to train the dog. And until you're where I'm at with staff and assistants, there's no overhead. You're just kind of doing it. Besides like your insurance, you're just doing it. So I started by myself. I've never had a loan go into my company at all, which is I'm really proud of. So that's cool. But I've never done like an entrepreneurial course or boot camp or like program. So if you have those, like, send them my way. I will gladly take any education that's out there.
So there are a ton.
Cool.
I definitely recommend you check out the IVMF through Syracuse.
They were at the military conference, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. They have, not only do they have entrepreneur classes and different programs you can take for entrepreneurship, they also have it's VWise, veteran women. I can't remember the rest of it. But there's you know, so they got those. There's Warrior Rising. There's your local SBA resources too, like Vector and VBOC and things like that. So there's definitely ones out there, and you know, they're all free. You know, the Rosie Network has a great program as well.
Oh man, you're saying all these things that I've never heard of.
Oh my goodness! You need to spend more time on my website. That's really the bottom line.
This is really just advertisement for your website.
There you go. But yeah, no, we'll definitely reconnect, and I can point you in directions to resources that I've used and I've learned about, and there's still so many great ones. And doing these shows, we learn about them all the time. It's fantastic. All right, so tell us about Dawg Boss.
All right, so Dawg Boss is the training way for, I want to say everybody, but you can't be everybody's cup of tea. But every dog we can help. Absolutely. And I talked to the Fluffy Poodle when I was at the conference about this too, because he's heavily into the dog training world. Dawg Boss is geared towards your everyday dog owner that is just tired of this thing happening, whatever this thing is, you know, your dog has separation anxiety from your other dog, whatever this thing is, like it can be accomplished and dealt with in a way that is so doable for the average person that so many other dog trainers are not harnessing this type of training. And we're not doing anything crazy special. Like I didn't make this up. Like I'm 34, I haven't been dog training for like a million years. I didn't make this up. This is just me understanding psychology. This is understanding how dogs work and how people work and how they learn. And what I find is that other dog training companies are not taking advantage of teaching people in a sequential manner. Paint by numbers. That's how they teach in the military. So step 1, we do this. Step 2, we do this. Step 3, we do this. And then let's drill this until you have this memorized and down. And we're not going to add on until you feel good about step 1 through 3. So that's how we train. And I call it lazy training because it really is so lazy. It's lazy, but productive. And I'm having my clients sit on the couch and train their dog and change mental state and change behaviors. I have clients with 4 kids and it takes 25 minutes just to get out the front door and put freaking shoes on, and they're training their dog. I have Army veterans that are disabled and can't be up and down and jerking on leashes and doing all this craziness. And we're fixing their dogs and their life. And it's something that I'm really, really proud of, is being able to educate people that are neurodivergent, that don't want to crank and yank on their dog, don't want to only reward with treats all the time. They want to be like good cop, bad cop, but they want to be nice to their dog. Like so many dog trainers are having people be mean to their dogs in the sake of training and being intimidating to their dogs. My whole thing with training is I want to change the mental state, and I want to figure out the root cause of what's going on with the dog. And it's actually not obedience training. It's actually mental state training. So if we can change the mental state here, then we can change the symptoms of what's going on. Like your dog struggles with separation anxiety. That's not a separation anxiety issue.
That's only the tip of the iceberg.
So, okay, we'll focus on the tip. So that your dog doesn't have a separation anxiety problem, your dog has a confidence problem. The reason that your dog needs to be near this other dog is for a security blanket. So we got to work on, why does your dog feel like she needs a security blanket? Why does she need her own ESA, like as a dog? We got to figure out that, and not just address the separation anxiety, whining, barking, and distraught when the other dog walks away. So we always tell our clients that this is more like therapy than it is training, because like a lot of dogs out there are just like crazy girls that, they just need help, and we're helping them one treat chucked at the dog's face at a time. It's that easy. We have a lot of videos on our social media of just clients like throwing hot dogs, and it's so easy, but it is so intricate. Like you can't just hear that and throw treats at the dog and boom, your dog's fixed. You have to understand why, when, what your dog's showing you. And you got to understand how to like pivot and shift gears at any moment in time. And we'll work with anybody, any dog, any breed. We work with people, we're in Virginia. We work with people out of state, out of country. We're working on a course right now specifically for lazy training. So it's videos of how to be a bum and train your dog, how to watch like 4 hours of Netflix and train your dog. Netflix is like, are you still watching? And I'm like, yeah, duh, push play. So it's totally doable and it's fun.
I don't know. I think I may have to move you into my house.
Sign me up. I'll be there.
Handle this problem. This is, I've never experienced a dog like this one. This has been quite the journey. So, well, that's fantastic. I love the concept. I love the idea, because time is short for all of us, right? That there's so many competing things that take our attention and what have you. And our dogs need and want training. You can tell when you're training your dog how much they actually enjoy it. Not only are they spending time with you, their best friend, but they're also learning, and then they get treats, or whatever when they're doing good. And, so it's just the whole thing.
Right.
I love it. I love the concept. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. And I will say that we are so lazy with our training that I tell people, don't walk your dog. And that like blows people's minds when I say don't walk your dog, because I say if you walk your dog, it's for you. It's not for that dog. Like you have a German Shepherd. Is that what you said? Two. If you take those German Shepherds for like, say that you're feeling overzealous and you're like, oh, we're going to go for a 45-minute long walk, which I don't ever do. I freaking hate walking dogs. I never do it. If you walk those dogs for 45 minutes, you're like, check, I was a good dog owner today. Did it. Your dogs come back and they're like, okay, like, so what's next, Sean? What are we doing? They're not fulfilled. Like, they're hurting dogs. They need to do things. And so all of our training is geared around not walking your dog and doing other things to mentally fulfill the dog, because dogs need a job is what everybody says. And then what they think that means is like, teach your dog to go retrieve the newspaper. Well, like, who the hell gets the newspaper anymore? I don't get it. Like, nobody gets it.
Yep. And they're like toddlers. They take a 30-minute nap after the walk and they're full of energy
like,
again.
I'm ready to go again. Yeah.
All right. So what's the best place our audience can check you out?
So we are on all socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're also on LinkedIn. I don't think we're on X. I swear if there's any more socials introduced this year, I'm like, I'm going to lose it. It's too much. It's too much. We are Dawg Boss RVA, pretty much all over every social. That's DAWGBOSS RVA, and that's Richmond, Virginia. You can also reach us by text or by email, and I will give you that number. You can put in the description and the email, and social media is probably like the easiest for everybody.
Okay. Outstanding. Well, Brittney, thank you for joining us today on VET S.O.S. Love what you're doing. Love the concept of lazy dog training, because I'm all about being lazy. On behalf of the entire VET S.O.S. family, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. And you can find VET S.O.S. on all your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, and all social media platforms. Make sure you subscribe and follow the VET S.O.S. so you don't miss anything we're putting out. And as always, remember, don't drown the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S. Lifeline.